In 1872, Dr. Brewster Higley arrived in northern Kansas and built a cabin in which to live. Living in the middle of the plains and surrounded by their splendor, he wrote the poem My Western Home, that eventually became the well-known cowboy song, Home on the Range.
That song is sung in more countries than any other single song anywhere.
Donnez-moi un endroit où s'ébat le bison, où s'amuse l'antilope et le daim.
You looked at that little cabin up there, it belongs to Kansas and the nation and the world.
One of the things about being from the state of Kansas, like I am, is knowing how important that is to the people of Kansas. And when we became involved in that very early on, it became apparent there was a lot of passion for this. You know, the Home on the Range, the Higley Cabin, even the song has a lot of resonates throughout the state of Kansas.
Où le ciel n'est pas trop nuageux.
We preserved a piece of history that's known throughout the world. And how many people ever get the chance to do that? Like we've got to work on that with your corporation and in my position as their senator too, but just as a Kansan, to preserve this history. It actually is a place where you can sit down and play the song on your guitar, and many artists have done that too, but to feel the emotions of him writing the third verse of that song, which is my favorite too, but to sing this in all different languages around the world, that anyone could come here and feel how special that was.
The Higley Cabin is an important part of state history to preserve the building where the state song was composed all those years ago, and combine that with a company like ITC Great Plains that was founded and headquartered in the state of Kansas is a perfect combination. We built our first and largest project right through Smith County. The people of Smith County were great supporters of us. Very cooperative, very helpful.
I'd gone to Smith County and went to their chamber banquet. I was invited to speak and talk about our high voltage transmission line. And a gentleman in the back there came up to me, Mr. Dean Holthus, and I didn't know him yet. He said, "Hey, when you get a minute, I'd love to talk to you a little bit about this project I have in mind." I said, "Sure."
Large corporate sponsorship, I had never ever done anything like that. And so I thought, well, what do? You just detail how you would spend the money if you had it.
One of the first things that we did was figure out what the value was for ITC. And the value is trying to preserve a national heritage in that county and being involved with it.
We were very happy to have an opportunity to give back to an important historical location and building in Smith County that was so important to the state of Kansas.
It's been a great partnership. You know, part of our deal is about developing relationships, and the byproduct of that is friendships. So you start out, you know, interacting and different things like that. Then you end up having a long-lasting relationship, and that's what we have with Home on the Range.
But we have generations that are going to keep after the foundation to make sure this Home on the Range survives for all the people of the world.
How often at night, when the heavens were bright with the light of the twinkling stars, have I stood there amazed and asked as I gaze if their glory exceed that of ours.